Imagine waking up on an ordinary Monday. The sun rises, traffic hums, phones buzz, but something feels off. It's a feeling you can't quite place, a subtle wrongness in the air. The city breathes its usual morning rhythm. People leaving for work, school buses, picking up kids, the familiar scent of coffee brewing. You glance at your phone, check your wallet. Everything seems normal. But today, the familiar rhythm is about to break. You reach for your wallet. You open your banking app. It doesn't load. The little wheel just spins and spins. You close it and try again. Still nothing. You head to the ATM on the corner, but the screen flashes a cold, impersonal message. Out of service at the coffee shop. The person in front of you tries their card and the machine beeps back. Transaction failed. The clerk just shrugs, a look of confusion on their face. It's a small glitch, you think. Annoying, but it'll get fixed. Then the first headlines appear. Breaking news alerts flash across phone screens. Crowds gather around public displays, their faces a mixture of shock and disbelief. The banners all say something similar. Major banks temporarily suspend operations. People assume it's a glitch, maybe a cyber attack. But as the hours turn into days, a quiet, chilling realization begins to spread. This isn't just a temporary problem. The system is broken. We often think money runs the world, but money is only the language. The true engine is trust. Trust that the numbers on your screen represent real value. Trust that the bank will give you your money when you ask for it. Trust that the system will hold. And when that trust disappears, everything that looks solid begins to melt away. The digital arteries that connect banks, stores, and governments start to collapse, one by one. The first hours of a banking shutdown don't look like chaos. They look like confusion. People keep trying their cards, tapping their phones, refreshing their apps. They stand in grocery store lines that grow longer and longer, hoping their transaction will be the one that goes through. They keep trying and trying, till failure becomes the new normal. The illusion of an ordinary day shatters, piece by piece. Most people don't realize this. Your money doesn't actually exist the way you think it does. It's a hard truth to swallow. Banks don't just store your deposits in a vault somewhere. They multiply them. They use your money to make loans, to invest, to create more money out of thin air through a system called fractional reserve banking. They promise to return a promise that holds up perfectly as long as not everyone asks for their money back at once. This is the elegant illusion of modern finance. 100 people believing they own the same dollar, all at the same time. It's a system built entirely on confidence, a delicate web of promises and digital entries. It functions perfectly right up until the moment it doesn't. When belief falters, the entire structure begins to glitch and crack like a corrupted digital file. The solid buildings of finance start to flicker. Suddenly, commerce halts. Without a way to transfer value, the global economic machine seizes. Payrolls freeze, leaving millions without their expected income. Supermarkets can no longer accept cards because there's no system to process the payments. Fuel suppliers can't settle their invoices, so delivery trucks stop rolling. Abandoned shopping carts, no transaction signs on gas pumps, and empty shelves become the new landscape. Modern life, as we know it, grinds to a halt. Did you know that less than 10% of all currency exists as physical cash? Over 90% lives as digits in a server, a string of ones and zeros representing trillions of dollars. When the banks go dark, that digital world dies instantly. The servers power down, the screens turn black, and the vast majority of what we call money simply vanishes into the digital ether. It was never really there to begin with. We've been here before. We saw it in 1933 when bank runs led to the failure of thousands of U.S. banks, forcing President Roosevelt to declare a national bank holiday. We saw the tremors again in 2008 when the collapse of Lehman Brothers brought the global financial system to the very brink of annihilation. Those were warnings. Today's hyper-connected, digital-first system is an earthquake waiting to happen. The first domino to fall is panic. People rush to the few working ATMs, trying to pull out whatever cash is left. The second domino is the supply chain. Without digital payments, goods stop moving. The third domino is the empty shelves. Not because the food disappears, but because no one can pay for it. The intricate dance of modern logistics freezes in place, and the illusion of abundance evaporates overnight. Ultimately, this isn't just a financial collapse, it's a psychological one. Money is not paper or metal. Money is belief. It's a collective agreement that these tokens, these numbers on a screen, have value. When that belief cracks, society itself begins to shake. The fear and uncertainty reflected in people's eyes is the true measure of the crisis, as the foundation of their world crumbles beneath them. Of course, governments will respond. Emergency broadcasts will interrupt regular programming. World leaders will appear on screen, their faces grim, announcing emergency measures. The phrase "bank holiday" will flash across the news. They will offer liquidity injections and make solemn promises that deposits are safe. But every major financial crisis in history begins with those exact same words. And in the chaos, a new system is born, one that's been waiting in the wings. Central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs, programmable money issued directly by the government. It's presented as the solution, a way to restore order and stability. But it also represents financial control on a scale never before imagined, where every single transaction is visible, trackable, and potentially controllable. A new empire built on data. But when institutions fail, people turn to each other. In the absence of a functioning monetary system, the oldest form of commerce reemerges. Barter rises from the ashes. Communities start to trade goods and services directly. Farmers exchange produce for mechanical repairs. Neighbors share resources. The abstract trust in a faceless system is replaced by something far more tangible. Human trust, face to face. A collapse is not just destruction. It is revelation. It strips away the layers of complexity and reveals a fundamental truth. It's a reminder that money is just a story we tell ourselves. Stories can be rewritten. We see the echoes of our past ancient markets, hands trading goods, simple ledger books, gold coins, and we realize that the value was never in the token, but in the trust between people. If the banks shut down tomorrow, the world would break for a while. The shock would be severe, the disruption immense. But then it would begin again. It would be different, smaller, more local, more human. We would be forced to rebuild, not just our economy, but our connections to one another. It would be a painful new beginning, but a beginning nonetheless. The system might fall, but the human story continues. So ask yourself, what would you do if the banks went dark tomorrow? Because the answers aren't hidden in some distant, unknowable future. They're written in our past, and they live within our communities today. Thanks for watching. If this made you think, consider subscribing for more deep dives into the systems that shape our world.